ban likely to come out from Curse Academy as well. And there goes Man Clouds Yasuo.
Yep. Just rules of thumb here coming out. A lot of mid lane bans. Both teams know this, that you have to focus on the mid lane in this matchup here, because if you give any of these guys a champion that they're comfortable on, they're just going to wreck your entire team.
Yeah. And I really feel like Curse Academy can divert from the fact that Laud is kind of the all-star of these guys and rely on the rest of their team. I mean, they're full of incredibly skilled players. Chris, we've talked about him a number of times. He's still a top 20 solo queue player. And I feel like Curse Academy can rely on him to win his own matchup. I feel like he's such a strong laner and can be such a bully that if they can remove power from Laud and then just set Chris up, they'd be in good shape.
Yeah, Chris here actually gets a target ban at him, because the cast-in was banned away by Curse Academy. You know, big food for LoLPro. They're blue side this time, so they don't have to waste that extra ban on it. Right now, it's like, do we ban Lulu? Do we make sure they can't get it for themselves and Hanser will play it on the top lane? There's a whole bunch of things here on the table. Do you just take one of the junglers out and just scratch that pool a tiny bit, or do you focus another one on Laud?
I don't know. It depends if they fear anything else here in this one. Okay. Tristana goes away from Heartbeat. That was actually one of, like, back in the day before Tristana was popular, was one of his best AD carries. So I think in these patches where she's a little bit stronger, you definitely want to consider removing that champion away. And now LoLPro, of course, you've got the top lane Nidalee up, the Lulu around as well. A whole bunch of important picks available. Lulu's getting hover, and it's going to be locked in.
Yeah, there's no question there about the Lulu being locked in first. It's been locked in numerous times. Like when I go watch OGN, like Lulu's left up, all right, we got to snatch that immediately.
It seems to be the most likely first pick when you consider the bans go the ways you expect them to, with Cassim and stuff being removed away. Cog and the Evelyn going through to Curse Academy, though, so another hyper carry being picked up. If Heartbeat wants one of those longer range champs, he's have to go pretty much only for Jinx here. Yeah,
he's going to have to fall back on that third pick, fourth pick here for him. I like the fact that they're hovering over the Thresh here, because you don't want Bunny Fufu to have Thresh. We saw Sheep getting Thresh the other day. These are guys who they both got knocked out of the LCS. They both got kicked off teams and stuff like that. But if you gave them Thresh, they would just destroy and scrap an entire bottom lane.
Would you say that Sheep was so ferocious he was like a wolf in sheep's clothing?
I absolutely would. He was very, very good. He looked really gentle and nice, but then he just hook you in and he's like, I got Thresh, and he's taking you down.
And you died a little bit when that happened. So Bunny Fufu, of course, another very scary Thresh player. Patoy's Thresh, not one I've seen a ton of. Of course, he has been playing it so far in the tournament, but you need multiple games to get a highlight reel going. So if we see more of Patoy's Thresh, we can see him look scarier and scarier. Heaven Time going to grab Rengar for himself. Whenever I see that champion, I'm like, will we get an Orianna?
But here's the thing, though, is Rengar, you know, when I watch Korean pros play him, it's like, oh my god, he's such a high priority, he's such a great champion. They lock it in immediately. Here in NA, everybody's kind of like, what build do I go? I don't know exactly if I'm going for damage in this composition, if I'm going for tanky, if I'm going to rush CDR first, and if they combine it with an Orianna. We haven't seen a lot of success with Orianna-Rengar combos at all in the LCS.
That's true. A lot of them have kind of fizzled out.
Rengar's win rate is below 30% right now, I believe.
Wow.
In the NA LCS.
That is a pretty low rate here. We're going to see if the challenger scene can make that stat a little bit better for themselves, and we'll see as time goes on. Next pick's coming out for Curse Academy, though. No really big obvious marks for what their comps are going for just yet. Sometimes you can tell in the first 2 to 3 picks. Not the case here for either team. It's pretty generalist. Yeah,
I was really surprised by St. Vicious locking the Evelyn, because we saw him have a great Lee Sin game and he's been playing that a ton. He didn't lock in Rengar either, and there's no jungle bans here. So Evelyn was his priority pick in the jungle, and they first rotation picked it. So they're looking for some type of flank, some type of kind of Schrodinger pressure type of thing.
Sure. It's interesting, though, and kind of the same thing for Heaven Time as well. He's been playing a ton of Elise throughout the Challenger Series, but decides that his pool has evolved to put Rengar as an important one there. From what we've actually seen is Evelyns have done well against Rengar. They tend to be able to counter jungle and push him around, just from my limited exposure seeing the matchup go so far. So I think there's, from history's sake, an edge going to St. Vicious here.
You're also pretty safe, because you can go ahead and use your Dark Frenzy to get out of his bola.
Yeah.
And just remove the slow and run away unless it's empowered.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you camp him, you stalk him, usually you don't want to counter jungle or Rengar, because you're by his bushes, he's got more leaps, he's got more ways to track you down. But as Evelyn, you kind of stalk him till he's low, and then you go for him, and he has no escapes except for Flash.
Well, then that's something to keep in mind for these guys. 2 seconds to go for the lock-in, and there's going to be the whole lineup of Team LoLPro, and it is the Ori Rengar. It's a whole bunch of setup, and they're really hoping that Heartbeat's Twitch can follow up on the end of that.
Yeah, Heartbeat's Twitch here is going to be something that we have to keep an eye on. He's going to have the Thresh as well, so they can have a lot of early game pressure. If they get a hook onto Kog'Maw, you can chunk down the Braum a tiny bit. Yeah. But overall, it's kind of an even lane here.
Yeah, it's true. You've got these sort of weird windows of vulnerability where it just depends on how confident you feel in your hooks if you can go in with that one. Shen does a grab in the top lane here. We've only seen one Shen so far in 4.12 that I can recall.
It was also against the Lulu earlier today.
It was against Lulu, and it was also from Curse. So I know Scar tweeted at me saying, hey man, Phreak, I don't like the fact that you thought that Curse's Shen vs Lulu was a good pick, but apparently a lot of these teams in this organization like the Shen vs Lulu matchup, so see how it pans out.
It was Curse.
Yeah, it was
so
Curse.
They're all sharing the same strats here.
Yeah.
I personally don't like it. I feel like the fact that he's going to bring Ignite, or at least he's hovering over that, is not good, because if you get pushed out of lane, which Lulu will do to you, because you wave clear, she'll get you under the turret. You don't have a lot of wave clear at all as Shen. You actually have no wave clear, no tools for that until you get a Sunfire Cape if you do rush that, but it's a lower priority item now.
Yeah.
And he's just going to get bullied. Once you get poked out, you have Ignite, and it's like, okay, I can't really TP back to the lane. You're going to miss CS. Yeah. And they're looking for kind of a submarine strat here with Evelynn.
That's true, and there is some good gank assistance there potentially. The one caveat I will give that, as far as timings and whatnot, is early game Lulu will have mana constraints. She cannot just freely shove you into a turret, and Shen, of course, has the sustain and he's an energy champ, so with shields and Vorpal Blade, he'll get some health back. And what I saw the early matchup, when we saw it earlier today in the LCS, was he wasn't getting killed, he was missing some CS getting pushed around. But by the time Lulu can skip her mana constraints by getting a Chalice, Shen's got his Spectre's Cowl and no longer takes any meaningful damage. So I think he actually scales up in meaningful ways against the matchup. But I agree, it's not for fighting the 1v1. I think it is much more about what else can you do as Shen, and can Chris outplay Hanser with this one?
Ooh, there's some sweet little biscuits in Hanser's inventory. He's got the utility here. He might be running some extra mana regen, so he doesn't run into problems like that.
Yeah, 9 utility Lulu. I think against a melee matchup makes a bunch of sense.
He's got 17 armor as well.
That's good. It's running health per level seals. I mean, these are all the right choices here.
So he's low on armor. He's not going to be taking any harassment from auto attacks for a bit. Shen is actually primarily magic damage.
Yep.
The Vorpal Blade and also the Key Strike. But look at this, the Invade here. They actually do have a pretty good level 1 between Charm and also Braum. Is Heartbeat going to get caught?
Oh, sees everyone. Oh, the taunt's going to land. There's the Q from Braum. There's the Charm as well. Heartbeat's going to flatline, and there's first blood.
Wow, so the taunt, he doesn't even flash on the end of it, and they end up getting him with the Charm from ManCloud, the stacked CC, and the stun. That gives them so much in this early game. Just kind of blindly walking in there, and Heartbeat using his heal, but no flash.
That is just unfortunate for the guy. Yep, lots of summoner for it. And really only, I guess ManCloud did burn 2 summoners. He had actually to flash Charm to make his way into that one, but of course worth it. And that will give 325 gold to ManCloud. That's first blood gold this early in the game. Goes for a consumable start with that one, as opposed to like maybe boots or something.
Yeah, he gets himself some ward coverage, extra mana potion. He's going to have to play it a little safer because he doesn't have his summoners against Lot on Orianna.
Yeah.
So he'll be taking a little bit more aggressive type of plays towards him.
You got to worry about flash bullets too.
Exactly. Good thing he has the ward to watch his sides.
Yeah.
And his harassment is going to be a little bit negated by the potions.
All right, so Curse Academy going to start up with their red buff. This is something that is known by LoLPro. Of course, you really have no chance for meaningful aggressive wards by Curse Academy after that kind of invade, so they don't even know they're spotted out, but it's not that big of a deal. Heaven Time will actually forced to solo his red buff. And Hanser went for kind of a fake leash. He showed up to lane late, so Curse Academy might think Rengar started tough.
Yeah, that's true, because he ended up getting to the lane a little bit later, and the bot lane was already present. We'll have to see what they do with this. LoLPro not shoving as fast as Curse Academy.
But Toy, nice replay. I want to see, yeah, who gets level 2 first, who gets the initial damage right there. Bunny Fufu looks to be pretty fearless right now, impactful, sitting pretty equally.
Curse Academy's going to get it because they have experience from the first blood.
Oh, there you go, level 2. Just 1 minion early, but either way, looks like they don't press anything too hard, and Patoy won't be grabbing that minion just yet. We'll be waiting for the cannon here.
I was glad they were conscious of that, because sometimes it catches you off guard. You're like, wait, I'm counting minions, and you hit it a little early.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, God.
I didn't even think of that. You're right. It's a pretty important detail.
You would have been first. You would have been second-blooded. Boom.
Well, they didn't go in on me. Well, I mean, the thing is, if I was LoLPro, I'm like, oh, we're down a minion. I can't go for it. Ladu going to take some damage here. Nice slows coming into Saint as well. half health bar on Orianna.
Just the damage is worth it that early on in a gank. You're going to get his consumables out and have an advantage for ManCloud just from that, which means that Lod will probably have to back sooner, and they're going after Bunny already.
Look on a Bunny, the W comes down as well. Auto attacks from Heartbeat, not going to do very much, and in fact decides with the damage reduction, it's not even worth auto attacking you. You're going to back out in that one.
Just leave him be.
So, Putzoy's going to last at the cannon there for his teammate, but impactful, trying to get some harassing. You're seeing a very small CS lead for the Charisma Academy bottom lane. And the jungler now shows up top.
Yeah, he's pushed all the way up. This is the thing with Lulu. You're going to shove on a Shen. Gets the taunt.
There's the taunt, and there's damage from Lulu, and that is, I think, why people wanted the Shen matchup, is his gank assistance is rather good. The flash in from Saint, the flash Q from Chris, and there you go.
There was about 3 things that went really well there for LoLPro. First, the positioning, because he was shoved so far up. Secondly, they got the flash. And third, the taunt came out right as he used Whimsy on himself to speed himself up. So he got almost none of that buff duration on it.
But it's going to be Haunter TPing back in, and this is the cost that Chris pays by running Ignite, is the Haunter can show right back up. And he's not going to miss very much, but the gold to Chris could be enough to flip the matchup, even when he does have to walk back.
Hey, and Chris always talks about how he's really good at setting up ganks.
Wow, Haunter actually just really hurt him there. He just stopped basically 8 seconds of coming back to lane. Chris will miss a wave under turret.
Yeah, because he has no teleport. Heaven Time also on this side of the map for a gank on ManCloud. Splash is pretty close to coming back up.
Wow, I'm surprised ManCloud did not go for a charm there, but he's got no gank assistance. Doesn't want to go for much.
Oh, Heaven Time.
Spots ManCloud. Whatever, trinkets down, wards down, not too much picked up.
Big thing is ManCloud spotted him.
Yes.
So he's not able to continue his aggressive moves. And Heaven Time has to back off and go farm.
And look how late Lod is to getting level 5 right here by being pushed out early on and having to recall for health. He's still not level 5 right now. ManCloud, I feel like, has the edge of the one-on-one, and Lod's got to be real careful. Is the charm going to come out? Yes, it is. Goodbye to Lod, was still only level 4.
The ganks from St. Vicious are in the right place at the right time. He uses top, and he comes back down mid. They get Lod without any summoner spells blown.
And they got some damage on the other side, though, too impactful. I mean, these guys are really trading back and forth, and the Evelyn Rush pick I like a lot. He's done so well at getting in, as you're mentioning. Saint's going to look again for the bottom lane now.
Yeah, and like I said in the mid, they actually got the Ignite, but I was talking about Lod. He didn't use a single flash, but down bottom,
Heartbeat gets slowed. There's the Lantern. Saint's going to hop on in for this one, but he's not going to get much more than a little bit of damage. Oh no, Bunny Poopa goes in. Nice dodge of the Q by Heartbeat. Hook onto Saint will not quite put him in turret range, though. But some damage comes through all the same.
And that means that Heaven Time can do whatever he wants now in the jungle. You see Saint in the bottom. Is he just going to counter jungle? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, but how many wards do you get down? Like, stealing away part of a camp is nice, but more and more, the benefit I see of counter jungling is the fact that you can put wards down and track the enemy jungler and say, hey, we know where you are, just by basically induction for 3 minutes.
Yeah, especially St. Vicious on that Evelyn. Ooh.
He's making sure those camps were cleared away. Or not cleared away. He got ferocity, actually, by doing that. That's what I was going for.
There we go.
He got some ferocity. Deduction, also.
Pink ward.
Yep, walks by it.
Pink ward.
Yep.
Got him.
He's the deuce. There's a pink ward here. By seeing it. Ooh, actually purchased ferocity on that. I think he was afraid of Chris and Saint maybe grabbing him.
Yeah, he just didn't want to stick around that long.
No defensive wards. I mean, Heaven Time didn't have any wards in that invade, which is...
He used one on the golems. That was about it.
That was his trinket, though.
Yeah.
Which is like, eh. Like a 1-minute ward on golems might not even see Evelyn ever, right? Yeah. Like, that's kind of the issue with warding that camp. So I would much rather have a Wraith or red buff ward.
This mid lane matchup, though, is definitely going in ManCloud's favor with the help of St. Vicious early on and the first blood going to him.
You're seeing 14 CS in the finish. Ooh, nice charm hits as well. Lod still taking damage, and the shield actually comes out late after the Q lands. Saint does get his own aggressive ward down, watching near the blue buff, realizes he did start bottom side. They actually ping that Grangar's on red right now. Heaven Time trying to solo this one, but he's down a level. No, he's not, sorry. Saint Vicious also level 5 right now.
Saint's pretty close.
Yeah, he is.
Saint will hit it a little sooner because of the camps. And he's also going for a repeat gank top. There's no pink ward here. Haunter has no idea.
And Saint
also doesn't
no
have
counter gank. Chris gonna land the taunt. Big Knight onto Haunter one more time. Ulti popped, and now he's gonna Whimsy on out of this one. Saint, can he keep up? The ulti ends eventually. Great glitter lance down though, and that does get Haunter out.
Yeah, just the fact that the ultimate is up, the wild growth will slow people around it, so you can't really make base contact.
There's beautiful stuff in this one, and that's gonna mean An Ignite for an ulti from Lulu, plus a lot of time from St. Vicious. These jungle buffs are back up for Curse Academy, and he's starting them now.
He's going to hit 6 off of that. Where's he going to go? He knows that the blue is up.
And he sees Heaven Time at it.
Ooh, and also at the same time, there is an advantage here in combat stats for ManCloud.
And the fact that actually only Eve has the ulti here, looks like they're not going to get there in time. Lot gets it, but Saint, good choice to go around the bottom there for the Orianna, but Saint's going to find Heaven Time here. Here's the face check. It's going to be the Shen ulti. They're going to go for this one. Heaven Time. Will he flash the wall? Yes, he will. Empowered Bola flashes out. Not too bad. Shen ulti lost for that actually is... Shen and Eve ulti actually lost. I would actually almost rather be LoLPro in that case.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I wouldn't want to be Heaven Time, because it's just very annoying when you have people constantly invading your jungle, and the fact that your laners are kind of losing their lanes.
Yeah.
The gank pressure, the early game is just transferring over. It's
been great from St. Vicious. Like, I know Saint got a lot of flack in the LCS. People didn't know if he was necessarily up to snuff. Oh, that was a good freaking charm, ManCloud. Yeah, that's just, there you go.
That's exactly what I was talking about, where your lanes are losing. And they're able to do whatever they want, and they end up in your jungle. And then your laner's like, I can't help you because he's stronger than me and will kill me.
I just gotta say, man, I feel like Curse Academy, more than anything, is Team Vengeance. I feel like it's one of those teams where it's like it's a bunch of ex-LCS pros that I feel like got a lot of flack towards the end of their LCS careers for like not being good enough to compete. And they're just like taking it to everyone they can.
Hey, they're powering through.
Yeah, they are.
They had a really good run last time in Summer 1. They got 3rd place. Now they're trying to get into that 1st and 2nd place spot and possibly get a 1st round bye if they win this.
And that'll be a good run for them. They can likely make the promo tournament off a seed like that. We're going to see just how well they can close out this game as well as the rest of the series if they do keep this lead. St. Vicious looking for the bottom lane here. Defensive pink ward's going to let Heaven Time sneak on in. St. Vicious waiting in the other side as well. It's going to be a pretty brutal 3-on-3.
No ulti from Heaven Time.
Batoy doesn't see that Saint's around. Sneaks in the brush and doesn't see anything there. But Batoy playing this far up means you pretty much know there's a Rengar. Like, they're both flexing this lane pretty hard.
Waiting for those moments. Heaven Time. Ooh, he walked.
Wow.
The ward expired. He sweeps, he sweeps the bush so they don't see him leave. But Saint is still sticking around, still pressuring this lane. And ManCloud.
This Evelyn has the patience of a Saint, though. And there, he's finally going to get rewarded. Goes on in. Batoy forced to flash away. Heartbeat does the same, but there's a knockup on Batoy who's got no escapes left. Box comes down, and no one cares. Bunny Fufu just stops Heartbeat's damage, and that's a kill.
Wow, just St. Vicious's presence on the map, his patience on the map. You'd sit there and be like, oh, there's no way he's still around if he ever was. But he just sat there forever. He was leeching experience for a good long while.
Yeah, it's like good 3 waves worth, but you know what? It's worth it when you get the kill for your team. And look at this one. Top lane is being pressured. Hauntzer's got some turret damage down. Chris holding up in CS, but even despite the ganks, isn't really crushing the matchup.
There's just the fact that there's so much wave clear from Lulu that's so easily accessible. And Shen, you kind of had to auto-attack everything. You're going to take a lot of turret damage.
It actually reminds me of Season 2 Worlds, actually. This was something that TSM did, is they would pick Darius into Jace. And people said that, well, Jace beats up Darius in the one-on-one. And Darius was like, yes, he does. But Darius is so much better in ganks that if I put my jungler in, we win every 2-on-2 in the game. And he's playing for the gank phase and saying, well, this will snowball the matchup. It's fine. We'll crush.
Heaven Time going for a gank right now.
Root in Heaven Time gets the Shen ulti, but they're going to go back on into Heaven Time. Can he get the charm in this one? Yes, he will. And that's going to be the damage. Chris doesn't even need to taunt anybody. Beautiful play.
Lot had no mana, so he wasn't able to back that gank up at all. They're going to go straight for him.
Wow, right in and down goes Orianna. He's got no health, too.
Yeah, he's pretty He's also pretty ooh.
Ooh, down he goes.
Out of
health. 2 more kills than yes, it is. Suddenly, Team LoLPro have yet to pick up a kill, a turret, or a dragon this game. Curse Academy absolutely in control this game.
Yeah, they're going to go straight for this dragon, too. 0-7 in Curse Academy's favor.
There's a turret.
It's looking pretty grim. They're going to get themselves a turret, so they're at least on the board with something instead of big old goose eggs.
That is something that Curse Academy are just playing this game so incredibly well. And the aggressive style of St. Vicious, 4 assists on him. He's consistently in the right place to make things happen. And I am very impressed with Evelyn play. You talked about his Lee Sin in the pregame, saying, but it was so good, why not go for it? The Evelyn's scarier.
I was saying there must be a plan behind it, because his Lisa
was winning the game, apparently.
Really good.
Yeah.
His Lisa was really good. Saint's actually upped his game since the last time we've seen him.
Yes, he has.
Multiple times. Summer 1, I think probably made him a little angry.
Yeah.
And now he's back.
We had to play support.
That's true.
If I know Saint, he's a guy who taxes lanes, wants the farm, wants to carry. Supports don't get attacked lanes very much. Now he's playing Evelyn. He gets to press Q and grab all the caster minions. So red buff going to go over to St. Vicious. He's level 9 now, a full level up on Heaven Time, who is going for the CDR build, or at least part of it. Might actually be finishing, potentially finishing Wriggles pretty early, but that could also just be Brutalizer. Or Cutlass. All the above can exist here. We'll see what Rengar goes for. Mid lane turret had died not too long ago. Curse Academy feeling good about that. ManCloud is waiting in the wings. Can he find the random kill, though?
Big thing is he just completed his DFG.
Yep.
He's looking for blood. He's looking to pop that cooldown, that active item, and get a kill. He's pretty damn far ahead right now.
Yes, he is. Who can he blow up? I feel like the bot lane could be a spot to go. Problem is there's no ward control at all for Curse Academy, so ManCloud will be spotted every step of the way down here. Like, Heaven Time could randomly show up and kill him with Heartbeat in tow.
St. Vicious is here as well. He's going to sneak straight in. They're going to try to force this.
The flash hold onto 3. ManCloud is locked up against the charm onto Heaven Time. There's going to be everybody dropping down. ManCloud forced to run away, but 2 kills still happen. Double kill for St. Vicious, and out they go.
That is really big. Heaven Time forced to use his ultimate defensively there when they get 2 kills underneath the turret. Great dive. Didn't even use the DFG for ManCloud.
An absolutely beautiful play by Curse Academy. Unfortunate from Team LoLPro. They were not able to punish the visible roam down from Ahri. They were grabbing blue buff on Lod. And it just feels like the offensive players from Team LoLPro keep stalling out, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, Curse Academy, they're keeping really good timings of these summoner spells and ganking in between them. The setup there, St. Vicious flashing forward and using his ultimate, and then on top of it, we have Bunny Fufu stacking his on top and getting 3 members. Meanwhile, in the top lane, TP's in, gets interrupted.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know why you would even TP in full view of Shen like that, but it's not really worth it there for Hanser.
Well, at the same time, the TP from Hanser, I don't know how much he would have been in terms of backup. It was pretty low.
Yeah. If he's there in time, I think the ulti and the shield might save one person and they have the chance of turning it around. I feel like in a game like this, you've got to try, but you've got to try when it makes sense. In full view of Shen, again, not, I think, ideal for that.
Yeah, it was pretty telegraphed, too. Hanser not even hiding the fact he wanted to teleport, which gives a lot of information over to Curse Academy.
And of course, smart by Chris to be there. And, you know, there was a minion wave behind him, and he's like, I'm going to stop this Lulu gank because I hear my team's fighting bot lane. So, of course, for every misplay, there's a smart play on the other side. That was a capitalization, and that was Chris playing very well in that case. Always got to give credit where credit's due because Curse Academy have earned these kills they've gotten so far. They've earned this gigantic 5,500 gold lead.
You can go to the Curse Academy, you earn credit. Boom. I got a snicker out of Phreak. I'm learning.
I liked it. I liked it.
Sieging up the middle now. They get a hook on Bunny.
Oh, a lot of damage. Actually, he's got to be really careful. Shadow's not going to be nearly enough. And just really not respecting the damage up. But Shotgun comes in from ManCloud as well. Has to burn his ulti to get out. Team LoLPro finally find a spark of life.
Yeah, LoLPro had grouped up in the middle with all of their members, and Curse Academy was doing a 1-3-1 with St. Vicious off on the left kind of haphazardly. This is a big opportunity for LoLPro to get multiple turrets off of this because a lot of their members have backed.
Yep, suddenly a wake-up call for Curse Academy. Guys, don't oversleep from your classes because, by the way, there's a final exam. It's right now, and you just got question 4 wrong. I don't know how that one worked out. But Team LoLPro, hey, man, they're not all winners.
Question 4. Push side
lane. Turret die?
If
yes.
If 5 members of the enemy team are in the middle, what do?
Possibly defend it or take a dragon or something. Instead, it was only Bunny Fufu there, and he kind of fell over. So, Curse Academy have gotten some space back. They forced Hanser's flash. And, all right, they are pinging it Baron a bit early in this game.
Yeah, they know there's no teleport from Hanser. Hanser, he's trying to get vision of the area. Chris didn't actually touch on it. He tried to use his ultimate on Bunny Fufu.
Yeah,
punished for it. But now they're collapsing around the top lane right now. Hanser still has his ultimate, doesn't have flash, but there's too many members here.
He's got nowhere to go.
He's going to have to buy time while LoLPro
Taunt won't land good ulti from Hanser, but still just can't tank all the damage. Impactful claims the kill. Saint pulled aggro.
Meanwhile,
ManCloud could run, but look at this LoLPro making very smart choices. 5-man dive tops. They push mid. They get a tier 2 turret for it.
Yeah, they're going to trade a tier 2 for a tier 1, and they're going to start beating on this inhibitor turret. There's one home guard here from ManCloud.
So Impactful will take the outer turret, but Team LoLPro going to get two much more important turrets for that. Much better play by LoLPro. Hanser knew he was dead, but the rest of LoLPro played that exactly right.
It's 1 to 10 in kills, but there's only 1 turret more for LoLPro. 20 seconds on the Dragon, that's another opportunity for them, but they're going to start trying to get rid of these wards. Or not. They're just going to walk by all these pink wards and probably set up for Dragon. We'll have to see what they do. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, they have to respect the fact that Hanser was dead and is still walking back in. If LoLPro sit there killing wards, they are in a guaranteed 4-on-5, and they're behind. They can't take the risk of getting collapsed on. They've got to be the ones taking the risk of aggressive action, hoping that Curse Academy overcommit for something or get lax. CA are going to do the smart play and grab the Dragon for themselves, securing this gold lead a bit more. But the minion waves are in pretty good repair. Curse Academy should be able to continue map control.
And you can just see the type of pressure that Curse Academy have made on the map, because everybody on LoLPro has died twice. All the deaths are just spread out evenly here. Somebody wasn't just getting camped. It was, I'm going to kill this guy, then you and me are going to go mid, and then we're going to go somewhere else, and we're going to pick something else up, and I'm going to revisit a lane. And he didn't just sit one place from St. Vicious.
Yeah.
He kept going all over, and ManCloud was a huge part of it as well.
And meanwhile, LoLPro doing everything as a team. They've all been part of exactly that one kill in the mid lane. They were all taking that mid lane down where Hanser was off buying time. So it is kind of the battle of teamwork versus individual skill, if you can really call it that. Although, of course, Curse Academy's teamwork is very good. They've just been out-skilling their opponents so far, and LoLPro going to have to find another way to get ahead in this match.
Yeah, another thing too, though, is that LoLPro is actually caught up in CS, and some of their lanes have surpassed their opponents. Another big thing here is Heartbeat. Haha. Both start with H's.
They do.
It used to be Hoodstomp.
Good job. You went to an academy, didn't you, to learn that?
Not the Curse Academy.
No.
That's a little too high.
Yes. They wouldn't have you.
No, they wouldn't. My GPA, too low. Or gold per minute, sorry, my GPM. It's a little too low. Boom. All right, so Heartbeat. He's actually hitting some power spikes here. As soon as he gets his next item, I assume it's going to be Yuma's Ghostblade. He's going to have that mid-game power spike by Heaven Time. Oh!
Speaking of spikes, ManCloud uses one combo and spikes out Heaven Time.
It's Curse Academy volleyball team. Gets spiked out by Ari.
Yeah. I mean, that was like a lob at first, but then everything went through. So, hey. He served for himself. That was I don't know. I can't come with the terminology.
Comes back to him.
Comes back to him. Worked out all right. Curse Academy, though, just rushing down the bear, and LoLPro want to stop this. They're putting some wards down. They know that they're walking through vision themselves. Can they get the shockwave out from Lod? Can they get the damage down to go for the steal? They catch St. Vicious. This is not good for Curse Academy, but can they turn this fight around anyway? Lod forced back. One kill picked up for Heartbeat so far. They're going to get back for the 80 carry, though. Buddy Hugo stays alive. And actually going to be killed onto Hanser as well. Now Patoy forced to run. And yes, Curse Academy with the 4-on-5 fight. Going to clean this one up 3-1.
It was a 4-on-5 at the start. They didn't have Heaven Time. There's no way it was going to be spited away. They TP in. They didn't actually end up killing the person that Chris was using his ultimate on. They didn't kill St. Vicious in time. Chris came through in the fight. It was a big turning point for them. Just looking at
how far away they both were.
Ooh, they catch Saint. Boom. Ultimate here. Lulu's already in the fight. They start tunneling on Saint, saying we have to kill him, but look at that. Chris is already in the fight and gets the taunt off onto Heartbeat, the person that was doing the most damage in that fight. He gets off the field and everybody has to scatter and run away. And just a great fight there from Curse Academy. Just all the way through. Like, the baiting of the Baron was brilliant, and getting Heaven Time when he's caught out and capitalizing on it is very key.
Yeah, that was really good by Curse Academy, I gotta say. You get the pick and you're like, cool, it's a 5-on-4. How can we force this kind of battle? Because the hard engage, actually, to be fair, it's pretty good for Curse Academy, but how can we force another battle 5-on-4? And it's, hey, show up at Baron. And you saw how far back they peeled from it. That Baron was actually hitting Hanser from LoLPro during that fight, because he was going in and trying to kill Saint. And Curse Academy was so far back, Baron switched targets, and it's someone who'd never even said a bad word about him in his life.
That's just
still pulled aggro.
That's just being in the way.
Yep.
Jumping on the railroad tracks, you know? Train's got nothing against you. Just in the wrong place.
Walk in front of Baron.
Yeah.
Confirm Baron is a train. Hashtag Challenger Series. Why not?
Baron's a train.
Baron is a train. Curse Academy.
I can see it.
Why not?
Not even close.
Who would be the conductor of that train? You think about that one for a while. I'm going to set up the next fight.
I was going to say Kog'Maw.
Kog'Maw's the conductor of the Baron train.
His all aboard is his fanfare. You don't need to do it.
I stopped after about 3 notes. Heartbeat looking for a play. Wow, goes right in onto Impactful. There comes Heaven Time as well. They are trying so hard, and they've gotten pretty far, but Heartbeat can't quite get the damage down. He will get blown up by Saint Vicious. Heaven Time forced away as well. Saint staying alive, running out of health. Gets Glitterlands. Shockwave is beautiful from Lod, but doesn't have the follow-up he quite needs. Goes down to Chris in the backside. Hanser chasing on in. Does trade one back, but so far, honestly, 2 for 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, but the bad thing about that is that Chris and ManCloud had almost nothing to do with that fight for the majority of it. They showed up at the very tail end of it. They were trekking up. It looked like they were going to flank, but then the engage came in. Look at where they are on the map. They're at Dragon right now, and they're being engaged on here. I'm surprised the Shockwave didn't come out any sooner, because the ball positioning was just not on point. They are not able to blow them up in time. They're trying to reach that back line. They can't get to the Kog'Maw, and they just trail off. Hanser, he's actually one of their primary sources of damage now, and he's forced to go after ManCloud with his flash and picking up the kill. So they end up going even 2 for 2.
Yeah.
But man, the fact that it was a 3-on-5 for the longest time was huge.
Yeah, the fact that Bunny Fufu kept Impactful alive for so long was really critical, because Impactful went so low in health at the very end of that fight and didn't quite go down to assassination. That does give me a glimmer of hope, though. You can see that LoLPro are very good at picking out these really arbitrary battles out of nowhere with a Whimsy Twitch, with a Rengar, and they almost get champions like Impactful. I think that is the glimmer of hope that LoLPro needs to keep using if they want to get back in.
Yep, duel down here. Hanser going for the turret. It's not dead just yet. There we go.
Does take it down, but he's taking a lot of health for this so far. Good Glitter Lance.
Oh, Heaven Time's coming in.
Wow,
Whoa!
did not want to check that
Whoa!
brush. Lantern gets him out, though. He didn't take enough damage, but Lod just might. He's going to fall over to Impactful. There's the Chris ultimate. Saint Vicious on top of Heartbeat, and Twitch goes down as well. Lulu wins the Shen up, but who cares?
Look at
2 for nothing.
All these pink wards that Curse Academy has littered throughout the Baron area. They've been holding these spots for so long. He walks straight up. He thinks he's stealth. There's a pink ward there.
That's the beautiful thing about the 2014 changes. The Vision game is everybody's responsibility. Many pink wards down for Curse Academy. They all had to buy a few to make this happen, and it set them up for that next fight. So Curse Academy, very good at playing with the lead. It's a reserved style. They are not rushing turrets down very heavily, but they are very good at setting up Barons. There you go, Saint. Who needs to smite?
He missed it.
I know.
Oh boy.
Some habits die hard.
That's why they only do Baron when they get the enemy jungler completely off the field.
Yep. Hey, man.
It's a good choice. It's
play
safe.
around it.
Super safe.
I mean, they're up 18-4 in kills. They're doing something right.
He walks up right into a charm, DFG, gets blown up, but oh, nope. That's a Thresh Express right there. There's another train in this game. They just trail off, Heartbeat left to his own devices, just wrecked. Lod, Heartbeat, just run over.
Yeah, poor guy. And I gotta give credit to the Curse Academy. Even though their pick on Rengar got derailed by the Thresh Express, they still managed to refocus. And I mean, they still picked up the kills. They still focused down on a Baron. So good stuff by them. Another Dragon picked up. These guys really do a great job of holding the neutral objective control. Thing is, they're still only at 3 turrets, though. They've got to turn this on at some point. Good dodge by Hanser. Nice knockup as well. Chris has to say, you know what? My turn.
Yeah.
Tags on in. Hanser, where's your teammates?
That's not how this goes.
It's a 1-on-3. Hanser's trying to get away from Saint. Shield comes back on. Whimsy is on. Nice flash taunt by Chris just to make sure he claims the kill. ManCloud, you get the assist at least.
They had to back because he's trying to buy time so that the rest of his team can push up the mid and get an inhibitor, but it's not going to last because he didn't last long enough himself. Yeah,
unfortunately for LoLPro, the rest of their lanes aren't pushed up enough to make these kinds of plays anymore. It was really good earlier on when Hanser bought time and they got the mid lane out, but this is the kind of thing about minion control, really, and also why it's a little bit rough for Curse Academy. They don't have more turrets down, is you can't always capitalize on mispositioning. You've got to work your way all the way across the map. Like, if Curse Academy aced LoLPro right there, they wouldn't win the game. They would maybe get an inhibitor. They've got so much ground to work through. And this gives LoLPro chances to say, well, we can go for these risky plays because we won't lose the game off of a misplay.
Yeah, that's true. And you can see it in their style right now that they're constantly going for those plays. They aren't playing like they're 10,000 gold behind. They're getting these deeper wards down too, which I like because that's the way you will get back into this game, is if you have ward coverage of your jungle and you have some in the enemy jungle and you can see their movements. Otherwise, you're just caught completely off guard.
But 10,500 gold. Puts Curse Academy ahead. They're now looking for the turrets to go down since they have Baron buff. Look how little emphasis they have on pushing the turret down. Mancloud's looking to bait this as opposed to just deal the damage. Impactful will do this. Heaven Time's in the wings. And they get the turret just barely. So Curse Academy is very heavily focused on kills. Chris doing this in the top lane. Nice ulti by Hanser to get himself out. Whiffs the Glitter Lance, but Shen's not going to take any real damage at this point. He wants to pick.
Heartbeat doesn't really have enough damage either. We're going to have to see what he does.
Ulti comes in. Chris going to try to hop the wall. Link, Trinket Ward comes down. Glitter Lance misses, but the auto attack should be enough. Chris, shield on, auto attacks come through. He should be dying, and he does so to Twitch now. Mancloud comes in, misses the charm, but Saint goes in anyway. Patoy low on health, picked up by Impactful. Bunny Fever shows up as well, does fall to Orianna and the turret. Mancloud chases in towards Lod. Can't quite get the damage down, but they picked up Rengar. Now they're stuck inside the base, but they got minions coming in, so now Hanser, what can you do? 1v3, flashes in, picks up one. Now Impactful has massive damage, but Heartbeat's back in the mix. He doesn't have the damage though, and goes in for nothing. Double kill again to Saint, 6-2 and 11.
He just doesn't have the damage. His damage output is extremely low right now, especially in comparison to Impactful. And he's trying to get it.
Lod gets that one. He's
Cappy and surprise.
Just die to Saint, who keeps picking up kills the whole time. So hey, this is Evelyn, 7-2 and 11 now, 24-8 in kills. Curse Academy pretty good at brawling.
Oh yeah, we got a bloodbath going on here between these two teams. It's family feud, but everybody's mad.
Wouldn't be a feud otherwise.
Yeah, sibling rivalry.
Yep.
Curse Academy doesn't like the fact that LoLPro got to pick the movie last night.
It's their turn to play. Get off the computer.
Man, I always hated that.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that. My sister's not a gamer.
Two brothers. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a relevant stat.
The hook on to Bunny Fufu, pulling him under the turret. He ends up dying. He does blow his flash as well, which is actually, we'll see if that pays off later. Mancloud and the rest of the team. Ooh. Hanser, he's been making some good plays. Like, out of everybody on LoLPro right now, Hanser, despite the early setback for him, he's been making plays. His damage output is probably the highest on the team currently, even in comparison to Lod and Heartbeat. I always have to think about that one.
Yeah, what's new? Slash old, kind of.
Yeah. Lod does end up getting impactful there, and Saint just chunks him pretty quickly there from about 1/3 HP.
Now, Lizard Elder plus X Drinker, plenty of damage output in that build, and doing a good job with his Evelyn. Building tanking now, of course. Ruby Sightstone's on there, so plenty of vision game for Curse Academy as well, which is another good hallmark of this team. They've done a great job keeping vision up around those neutral objectives as well. Bot lane inhibitor now the target. Whole gang's involved. Ulti from Heaven Time, though. Can he get his way in? Goes for Impactful. Gets a bit of a root, but where's the Shockwave? Looks like not much to be had. Rengar just dies. Nothing else even happens. Just a 1-for-0. Finally the Shockwave, but there's no one around. Twitch finally shows up, but just there's no follow-through anymore for LoLPro. Looks like they are too far back. Curse Academy, pretty clean kill on the inhibitor. They can walk right back out.
Curse Academy have a lot of damage items, and they're already working on their tank items. The Shockwave just kind of tickled everybody there. And the fact that it is an Orianna-Rengar combination, it took forever for them to even make a move with it and get a Shockwave off. We didn't see a lot of ganks. The game was pretty much in Curse Academy's favor even pre-6 of Heaven Time, and was slipping from their hands. They didn't make any Orianna ball just combos. We saw one that was attempted, but it was actually the ball was slapped onto Heartbeat, and then it just got leashed back, and then that one right there, just Heaven Time goes in with no command protect. And the entire game, it's kind of been like that. You pick this combination, but I don't know how just on the ball they are today.
Yeah, honestly, it's true, and you mentioned it in Champ Select. We haven't really seen a lot of great Rengar play yet in North America, and
it's easily counterable.
Yeah.
The thing.
Well, here's the weird thing is, like, both these teams have these stealth junglers that show up on top of you out of nowhere, and St. Vicious is wreaking havoc with that. Evelyn's been freaking everywhere and playing just freaking amazingly well. Saint, I've got to give a million props to, but Heaven Time can't sneak his way into fights.
Well, big thing here is that St. Vicious, he has that at level 1. They used that from level 1.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And they continued to use it. Heaven Time doesn't get that till level 6, and by the time he hit 6, St. Vicious already had his number and already had the lanes going.
Curse Academy kept playing off of that. So now 13,000 gold ahead, 33 minutes in. There's the pick for ManCloud. I think I've seen this before.
Oh.
But this time around, he's got backup, and that is a kill picked up. Now Hanser showed up with the home guard. They're trying to turn this around to the Baron pit. Can they do so? Now he's coming across. Patoy comes around. Great smite comes in for St. Vicious and claims the Baron. Another kill coming across as Hanser falls over. 4v4. Hanser trying to run away. Looks like it's going to be Twitch falling off, and now Patoy forced to run. Great Q from Bunny. Patoy hops the wall and stays safe. 2 kills plus Baron for Curse Academy so far. Can they keep going? Patoy will get stunned. Chris shows up. Nice play, but here's impactful. Patoy can make that a 3rd death. And again, Baron was already picked up for these guys.
It's a lot of damage there already in the hands of Impactful, scaling into this late game perfectly, not being shut down early. Just set up for success. 5-1 and 15. These scores all across Curse Academy's board are huge, and they're going to start pushing these inhibitor turrets.
And here we go, inhibitor turret number 1 under fire, 5 seconds on Rengar. Chris says, hey, Lod, back up. Get off this defense right here. That's going to be the case. 2 inhibitors now down. Baron Nashor buff on 4 people of Curse Academy. And they can walk right back out. And with one more push, they can win this game.
Yeah, it's around that average game time, too, for LoLPro. Lowest average game time in all of Challenger Series, about 33 minutes and 31 seconds. Just over that.
Just past that here, but realistically, this is Curse Academy taking it to them the whole way through. I mean, a great start in the landing phase, all of which was set up by St. Vicious. The gank assistance from Chris did pay off. I think that is my read on that lane, by the way, is the 1v1's hard, but the 2-on-1's great.
Yeah, so they saw ManCloud in there with Heaven Time's ultimate. They instantly blow him up, but they use a little bit too much on it. Heartbeat.
No Youmu's now.
Yeah, he just gets the tail end of his ultimate at the start of that fight. And Saint, it's already smited away by the time that Heaven Time shows up, and it just trails off once again. Despite it being a 4-on-5 in Baron, there's just too much gold in the hands of Curse Academy already to deal with this. Just too tanky and too much damage between all their members. We're going to watch this right here. Just walks up, and it's like wham, bam.
You're dead, man.
Yeah, Kog'Maw.
Yep. He's got plenty of damage there. Quicksilver Sash picked up 4 on top of that one. I gotta say, Chris had a really nice taunt flash to help catch Heartbeat. And then he pulled basically St. Vicious in to help kill that one off, so they had a really good move in on the enemy AD carry. But yeah, it just feels like LoLPro are having a really hard time playing from behind. That the bottom lane inhibitor siege, Rengar went in by himself, got killed. In this case, LoLPro have a guaranteed 5-on-4, and they basically flub the fight. Like, these guys are stuck inside the Baron pit, sitting there finishing Baron. This is like LoLPro's premier chance to come back, and they get nothing the entire battle. They go 0-3 in a 5v4.
They do end up getting ManCloud at the start of it, though.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, they got the pick. Right, that was where the 5v4 came from.
Yeah.
It was a great pick. And
I would still count that, though, because they used a lot of abilities on him.
Okay, okay.
Coming into the 5-on-4.
That's true.
And they need as much damage as they possibly can. Down in levels. Oh, and they engage from Saint.
And he's going to look for Lob, but the land going to keep him safe for this one. Thresh Express helping out. Double Shockwave going to catch Bunny and Impactful.
Lod.
Backing up Lod in the wrong spot. Great charm to set this one up, and now going in towards Patoy. Ulti comes across, knocks up the mid laner. Kill picked up there, and now life is painful. If you are Team LoLPro, it's going to be another kill onto the jungler. ManCloud staying safe. Bunny Fever protecting the team with his gigantic glacial shield. And now we're going to see the Nexus turrets falling over. 36.5 minutes. Game 1 gonna go to Curse Academy. Pretty convincingly.
Oh yeah, that's about as convincing as a victory as you could possibly get. Curse Academy taking it to LoLPro at the very start off St. Vicious's back. You give them a ton of credit for that entire setup all game long. Coming into that mid game, setting up ManCloud for success, and also just the level 1 was a little questionable to Heartbeat, not using his trinket ward over the wall, making sure that he can't be seen out. I mean, just the whole fact that he was caught level 1 gave everybody a little experience advantage, and ManCloud, the last person on that team that you want to have that first blood, got it.
And then it just kept going better and better for Curse Academy. They were very neutral, objective, and kill focused, much more so than maybe turret focused. I want to see how that style continues to pan out. It's definitely a very fun and exciting style. They get a lot of gold that way, but they don't push your base in very early. They do potentially give you room to come back by not taking your base down, but they just do such a good job of roaming and crushing you down so that you can never win your one-on-one match, you can never win your lane, because ManCloud's going to show up and kill you. Hey, if that's the effective style, it's one I want to keep seeing.
Oh yeah, and Lod, you know, he said he'll beat ManCloud in lane, but They didn't even get to be in lane because St. Vicious was always there visiting. Went top when it was pushed up, knows that matchup, knows that Chris is going to get pushed in. And then later on, Chris was like, I'm too tanky, you can't deal with me in the split push. And it was pretty much over in that top lane. They had to go roam and find something else. Yeah, and you talked about Lod saying he would win the one-on-one matchup up against ManCloud. And to be fair, Saint tipped that matchup, right? It's the same story over and over again. Saint keeps tipping these matchups. Level 3 double buff was bot lane for a second, walked up, just burned his spells to chunk Orianna to half, and Lod recalled. Lod was a level down the entire time against ManCloud, the entire time against ManCloud, and that's very rough when one team's basically got a jungle and the other's still trying to hit level 6. Yeah, the fact that St. Vicious got off to a really good early start was huge for them. He was just a great facilitator of the team. I can't really just sing his praises enough because his last couple of games we've seen him, his Lee Sin game, he turned over a new leaf from the previous Lee Sin before that. Was kind of a big flop. Right. And now bringing up the Evelynn as a first rotation pick and just having this strategy for it that worked out perfectly. His early aggression was just on point. Okay, so then you got to think about what you do the rest of the series. So for things to keep in mind, they're going to swap sides, so LoLPro on red side. They're probably still going to ban the Kassadin there, or I guess now they've got to ban the Kassadin. Also, I feel like the rest of your bans become the Yasuo still, unless you really think ManCloud's Ahri's better than his Yasuo. And that's a tough choice because obviously his Yasuo is scary, but I think you actually have to consider the Evelynn ban, just because of how good it was, even though you would so rarely first pick Eve. Even though it doesn't make sense in most cases, the fact that the Lulu first pick didn't pan out because of the Eve pressure, the fact that your mid lane match is supposed to win didn't pan out because of the Eve pressure, like maybe this is a real thing you got to tunnel on because Saint will ruin your game. Yeah, and I actually love the Shen combined with the Evelynn. And here's why, because usually Shen, like we talked about it, he's going to lose that lane. Lose the lane on purpose. Let him shove you into the turret. Sure. And Evelynn, can avoid all those early wards. There's early pressure on that Lulu at all times because she's constantly shoving in. And the fact that it's a tendency to want to use Glitter Lance to harass, stand in the minion wave as Shen, make sure that he's going to try to poke you with it. Yeah. At that point, it's kind of like, all right, you have to zone with only auto attacks. I mean, Lulu's catch on to that, maybe it'll change. But right now, it seems like a great idea. Well, here's the interesting thing is you want to call back to the earlier Shen plus Evelynn versus Lulu matchup we actually saw earlier today from Curse. It was the enemy jungler that thwarted it. And we were saying Heaventime not having a very good game today, right? When we had the exact same matchup, and it was cool too because Quas went for the taunt flash, and Inox flashed it, right? Yeah. Like thinking back to Curse vs. EG, Inox flashed the taunt to prevent the dive. The jungler comes in anyway, Dominate tries to deal some damage to Evelynn, and then lo and behold, here's the jungler. It was Elise, because I remember talking at the start of the game, I was like, a 2-on-2 brawl in the top lane, Shen Evelynn versus Lulu Elise. Lulu Elise is going to win that every time. Right. And Helios read the matchup, was there in time, counter-ganked it, and ruined the day. And that is a thing to keep in mind with these matchups is it could be one way on paper, it could be one way in the 2-on-2, but the way you think about it, are you there, are you not there? Because 2-on-1s work no matter which matchup you've got. And so I think Heaventime steps up, and maybe you target St. Vicious. We'll see what happens in Game 2. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, the Curse family feud continues in Game 2 between Curse Academy and Team LoLPro, so don't go anywhere.